outside. Cat's inside. I don't know where the dog is. Oh, dog somewhere. There it goes. All right. Hello, everybody. Rock and roll. It's Thursday. It's used to a problem. Problems just abound everywhere. So, everyone's looking at the hype date of the 29th, which is when Beyond becomes Bed Bath & Beyond and change their ticker from BYON to BBBY, which is the ticker of the former Bed Bath & Beyond, of which many of us have deleted shares. It seems apparent from swap data on the OTC, from legal documents, from the IRS sort of permission slip, I guess you'd call it, that there is some sort of butterfly transaction taking place with the shell of the former Bed Bath & Beyond, which is now DK Butterfly 2023-0930-1. And that this is, that something's coming. It's like just kind of this, there's just this feeling, this little like a zhuzh in the air. So the thought is that somewhere on the 29th, that's when we should start getting notifications of assets, equity, cash, warrants, units, whatever. To me, the thing you have to look out for, and it may all happen all at once. It may not be step by step, but I don't think we as shareholders get equity, warrants, cash, or anything else until a waterfall goes out to the Class 6 people. And in an ideal world, the Class 6 folks don't get cash. They instead get something like 30 shares per $1,000 in bonds in whatever companies they acquire. We think it's going to be GameStop, but we aren't quite entirely sure. And that would free up a boatload of cash for the shareholders, so that the shareholders can get warrants they can afford to exercise, as well as equity in the acquiring company. You may see Class 6 go first, or you may see it all go at the same time. The swap code that came about just before August that people found, that appears to be an all-at-once type thing. Like it just sends shares to the bondholders, sends shares in cash to the equity holders, and woohoo from that point forward. If it's like the Hertz situation, when Hertz emerged from bankruptcy, they got their shares back, they got warrants, and I don't think did they get cash? I don't think they got cash. I think they just got the shares and warrants, which were worth a lot of money. But it took about a month or so for Hertz to come back to the market and be tradable. This may be somewhat different. If it's a reverse merger into something like GME, you may have tradable shares instantaneously. Or if it's into a new company, a new holding company called Teddy, all those GME shares may become Teddy shares, all the BBBY shares become Teddy shares, and it may be something that takes like a month or so for it to rock and roll. So, hype date, 29th. Waiting for next week. Just until then, got other things to talk about. Trump revealed a new framework for an EU trade deal. And you notice it's way different than the framework he announced a couple weeks ago, where he was bragging that the EU is going to invest $600 billion into the United States of America. Woo! And the EU was like, no, we're not. But nothing has been signed, and they removed the $600 billion claim. My guess is the EU is not going to sign anything with Trump unless Trump helps out Ukraine. They're not going to do it. They're probably holding that over his head. They already told him they're going to stop buying bonds and sell all the bonds they have and collapse the U.S. bond market and thus the U.S. economy if he didn't help out Ukraine. So we'll sit and wait on that one. I'll believe it when I see it. Axios reported that 1.5 million legal immigrants have left the United States, taking with them somewhere around $75 to $200 billion in GDP. So on top of the fact that our ag is collapsing, manufacturing is collapsing, tourism is collapsing, the immigrants, a lot of them H-1B visa holders, golden visas, students, etc., they bailed. They're like, I don't need this anymore. And a lot of them have very high-paying jobs. If it's just, farm workers leaving, it's around $75 billion in the GDP gone. If it's tech workers, executives, researchers, etc., you're looking closer to the 200 billion level of GDP loss right off the top. Oops. What else is happening? Monkey's not here. Monkey's. Oh, there she is. She is here. Hi, Monkey. You did come in. Poor dog. I can't forget what else I put in the thing today. Duh. Oh, Gavin Newsom, state of California voted to approve the districting change as a tit for tat against Texas. The governor of New York has signaled that she's on board. They're pressuring other Democratic governors to get to it as well. And if the other Democratic states redistrict, there's going to be no hope for Republicans in the House. They're going to have to call mercy and demand that we start doing fair districts, which is what should be done in the first place. It's a mutually assured destruction that it's actually going to destroy just one group in the end. Problem is the Democrats are usually like, they want to lead by example and be nice, good people. Wait, is he telling me? I'm on the right. Yeah, I see it. Okay. I just got a text from Julius saying I'm running late, but I'm talking right now. Is it not coming up? What? I see your comments there, Julius. I don't know. So, I don't have that in live chat. Signal if you can actually hear me and see me. My computer is telling me that it's working. So, okay. Slaya says I'm good. I don't have anything else to add. Yeah, to the chat. Right. For first to the boop. Mike 2957 first, and then John Castro says number one. No, Mike says first, and John Castro says a great day indeed. Mike scratch this thing off his bucket list. John Castro, how can there be two number ones? Well, every time you go number two, you do number one, but not every time you do number one do you do number two. Passing Cloud, Houston. Twitter confuses me. Why is always algos when GME dips, but when Cracker Barrel dipped today, it's instantly wokeness at fault? It's because she's a woman, isn't it? Yes. Cracker Barrel is a woman. Wallaby, third. Oh, I think you're fourth. Geekadian, first in Houston's heart. Hot Pocket Rebel. Any BBBY news? I've been checked out for a few days. Well, we kind of just went over the top there. BBBY is being reborn, ticker-wise, under Beyond, which is becoming BBBY, and changed the name from Beyond to Bed Bath & Beyond. Marcus Lemonis kind of stepped in it yesterday when he was like, I'm not going to do any business in California until they blah, blah, blah. And he just fucking just... How are these rich guys so dumb? California is the fourth largest economy in the world. It is the number one state for business success, like small business. If you want to open a small business, if you open in California, you have a better chance of surviving than any other state in the country. It's where you want to do business. Yeah, there's there's some burdens. You gotta do unemployment rules and insurance and blah blah blah. Make sure you pay your workers a living wage, etc. But in the end, you make a shitload of money off California because that's where all the money is. People have discretionary income. They don't have discretionary income in poor podunk places. A towel company is not successful online because people like to touch their towels. So if you're just like, well, I'm just going to do online business in California. California's going to find other places to do their business, man. This is a self-owned in the way that Target did a self-own, where Target had sort of made themselves as the brand, as sort of a safe space for anyone to shop, right? If you're LGBT, if you're a minority, etc., you can go to Target and know that Target has your back. Well, Trump became president. Target media was like, we're going to cancel all of our DEI programs and whatever. And a Target boycott happened. And they lost 15% of their business right off the top. And those people have not come back. To the point that their CEO just got fired. Marcus Lemonis, with his bullshit, useless, pointless post, being like, well, I'm not going to go to California. Dude, you have one store. You have one store in Tennessee. You do not have stores anywhere else. All you have to do is just keep your mouth shut and say that we're on a program to expand across the country. That's all you have to do. You don't have to piss off a huge swath of your potential customer base by being some sort of weird stick up the ass weirdo. So just stop it. Anyway, that's all the BBBY news I have at the moment. Just waiting to see if the swaps come through, and if they do, woo! I'm getting rid of all this crap, and I'm just going to go into index funds and disappear. Anywho, Nerd alert. Wait, Houston. Always nerd alert. Chris Taylor. Hi, Houston. Got a few GME23 calls today, hoping a little run up to earnings. What do you think? I have some $23 calls. I bought on Tuesday. They're down a little bit since then. I think I bought in the stock was like $22.80. Now it's $22.50, somewhere around there. So it's down a little bit, but I think there'll be a pop somewhere. Maybe even tomorrow there'll be a little pop. So we'll see where it goes. Polestar, yo. Brandon Wells. Sup, BBBY? I just did that one. Polestar. So South Park pretty much said what we've been saying in here. AI is slop. And that just says what you want to say. You're going to love it if you haven't watched it yet. I have not watched it yet. I've been watching with my roommate, but my roommates are on a road trip until the 2nd. So I may have to watch it without them tonight. Because I have to watch it on streaming because I'm on cable. So it's on streaming today. So maybe I'll watch it and then be like, ooh, to them. Polestar, what is this August 29th hype? That's my birthday. Wouldn't that be nice? Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be a good birthday present? I think it's more gut feeling than actual hype. The fact that there's a protection order now between the Plan Man and Ryan Cohen, the 16B case, means Ryan Cohen can send whatever amazing stuff he may have involved with HBC, buying bonds, credit bids, who knows. And if that's the case, the Plan Man will just go, oh shit, I'm basically suing myself, and shut down. And if that's the case, then waterfalls can happen. It can just go right on out the door, and everyone can start getting their shares and whatnot. So it can go in a hurry. I just hope it goes in a hurry. Anywho, yeah. I still think we're in chin stroking, even though I feel like twiddling my thumbs at the moment. But I still think we're in some chin stroking, at least for the next few days, until we get weird clarifications on something. Chris Taylor, do you think the market has a rate cut priced in? I think so, and I think the Fed will not cut, so we'll see some downside incoming. Yep. The Fed is not cutting. I don't know where the rumor that the Fed was going to cut 15 basis points or whatever. They're not. They're not cutting. Inflation rose at 0.9%, which is the fastest since we started being concerned about inflation in 2022. It is not. They are not cutting. It's not going to happen. I don't know if this is some sort of Pulte rumor that the market was like, oh yeah, maybe it's going to happen. It's not. Jerome Powell is not going to sacrifice his legacy. He's got, 10 months left, 9 months left as Fed chair. He is not going to sacrifice his legacy to dump the United States into a recession or worse with ultimate stagflation we can't climb out of based upon, the nudgings of some fascist asshole. Powell's not going to do that. He's going to hold steadfast. He learned his lesson in 2019 by listening to Trump and not raising rates in 2019. He he's not going to fall for that again. So, yeah. Rate cuts post 526. Yep. And then everything's going to be just doomed after that, and by 10 times. Yeah. And Chris Hedges is first on thumbs up. Bill Coyne super chats. I feel like the donkey that's always chasing the carrot. I keep telling myself almost there. I've noticed some posts from folks who, I mean, there's a lot of folks that play like this. Everything hinges on it, right? A mixture of GME, BBBY, MOAS, etc. Like, for them to have any breathing room or space, they need it. They've spent their money on a lotto ticket, and now they need to win. I get it. There is posts I'm seeing where like families are having interventions with members in the community at this point because, you know, they're years into this thing and they haven't seen shit. And if Ryan Cohen wants to have these loyal investors to him, he needs to do something quick. Because remember, fruit gets ripe and then it rots. It's like, whoop, boop, too late. No good anymore. He's waiting too long, and the fruit got ripe, and it's sitting there, and it's got, you know, X number of days on the shelf before there's nothing left. And if he loses these folks, they've got to sell their stuff. They've got to get out. They've got, you know, food prices going up 30%. They've got rent going up, the car insurance going up, the housing insurance going up, fuel prices aren't coming down. Like the expenses in their lives are gaining, and the inputs on their lives, jobs, investments, etc., are not. So, you know, if it comes down to I have to do it situation, people have to do it. I got a medical expense. I've got to sell my shares, etc. The more folks you have having to do that, the more bitter they will become, right? The less trusting they will become. Berkshire never did that. Berkshire gave people return after return after return from the get-go. They made big plays, they got it done, and people became cajillionaires, became loyal that way. So if you want to be the next Berkshire, you have to actually give the returns to the customer. A $22.80 stock on a company that has $10 billion in cash is not the return investment, especially if you're into the Berkshire mode of not giving dividends. If you're not going to give dividends, you need that stock price to actually go up, right? So make it go up. Do the things that make it go up. Chop, chop. Otherwise, give us a fucking dividend. The stock price will go up from that. So, right? Yeah. So, there you go. Andrew Dowell, 9080. Hey, Houston. I know you hate AI, but I've been using it to pick out racehorses. It gave me 2 to 3 a month, and I'm on my 7th winner, 0 losses, over 600 pounds up. 1,600 pounds, not 600 pounds. Well, there you go. I know nothing about racehorses. Like I told you, my one time I went to the race, I picked at random, and I won 500 euros, which was cool, but I lost the other 2 races I bet on. Yeah, cool. If you're going to use AI, might as well use it to pick racehorses. Just don't use it to make your arguments on the internet. Polestar thing is funny. Polestar, should go all in with your money. That should work out well. I was thinking of starting at 50 pounds, put all in on next and see if I can do 10 horses straight and see where I'm at the end. I mean, that's what that movie with Richard Dreyfuss is about, right? I think we talked about it before. I can't remember the name of that movie now. What was it called? Stakes. Richard Dreyfuss horse racing movie. Let It Ride. That one. That's a funny movie. He like bets everything and like wins 8 horse races in a row or something. So, yeah, that's a funny movie. I recommend watching it. Rosary Productions. AI makes people stupid and shrinks their brains. Be careful. That is also true. There's like AI brain shrinking as a result that's happening. Forza09, happy birthday, Houston. If GME goes private under the new Butterfly partnership, what would that look like for GME shares? My guess is GME becomes a subsidiary of an umbrella corporation, which in this case we think it might be Teddy. My guess is that your GME shares become Teddy shares. Teddy becomes a wholly owned, or GME becomes a wholly owned subsidiary of Teddy at that point. And Teddy becomes the Berkshire Hathaway, utilizing the QSIP of BBBYQ, DK Butterfly. And if that's the case, right, just think about it this way. Okay. So we bring out the calculator. Maybe it's calculator time. Let's calculator time it. Calculator time. Bing. Oh, the calculator time's not going. What the hell? What the hell, man? It's going on the Twitch side, but it's not going on the... Oh, well. You guys are hearing the music? So I'm just like staring off into space, like waiting for it to be over, but you're just looking at me. Click that thing. All right, so we go to scene. We go to calculator. There's the calculator. All right. Calculator, you're on the wrong screen, calculator. I need you on this screen over here. I need you significantly lower. Whoa, that's too big. That is too big. I need you medium, like there we go. Okay, that's good. Okay, clear all that out. Let's say that GME gets taken private under the umbrella corporation of Teddy, and Teddy utilizes the QSIP of BBBYQ to become the tradable entity on the internet. BBYQ is likely shorted to the tune of billions. My guess is around 5. Look at the volumes. Is around 5 billion naked shares were sold into the market by market makers, etc., from prices of 25 cents all the way down to 4 cents. Like they shorted in that range. If Teddy is the reverse merger, GME becomes a part of it, etc., the GME shares become Teddy shares. Teddy shares take over the BBYQ. You are going to have to find so many shares on the market to make up for all of this. I have no idea what the true float is of BBBYQ. None. It could be 90 million. It could be 750 million. GME could have bought a whole bunch of it and just deleted them so that the float is actually even smaller than that. I don't know. We know there's about 440 million GME shares. So let's say, let's just call it a wash. Let's say there's 440 million of each and go from there. 450 million. So it's 900. We'll say 450 million of each. So, and make my math easier. GameStop has BBYQ come into it. They both receive Teddy shares, right? 1-for-1, plus warrants on the BBYQ side, plus cash. Cool. And you have now 900 million shares or so on the market. You now need to have all of those shorts go into the market and find about 1 billion BBYQ/Teddy shares to provide for the GME shareholders. Squeeze. On the BBYQ side, you now need to find about 4.5 billion BBYQ shares, now Teddy shares, to purchase to make good on your on what you need. Squeeze. If the BBYQ side gets warrants, a 1-for-1 warrant, you now need to find 4.5 billion warrants to make good on your obligations. Squeeze. If those BBYQ people get cash, and a substantial cash, it's not just like $1 a share, but it's like $100 a share, $500 a share, something absolutely ridiculous. Those folks are now going out and they're buying shares of Teddy or GME, whatever it is. They're now buying options plays like crazy. Gamma squeeze. So you can get a squeeze from basically the warrants, options, and the shares themselves via the PILs. And you'll have a FOMO of people buying this stuff. I can't imagine what the stock price would do. And the fact is that so many of you have 10,000 to 100,000 of these BBYQ shares. It won't take much to make you insanely rich. If the stock squeezes, you're all worth $10, $100 million or more. There are folks who've popped in the chat who have 4 million BBYQ shares. I think Ross has like 1.3 million. At one time, Ramez had 6 million. He claims he sold a whole bunch through private sales at like $40 a share. I haven't done any math here yet. I'm just I brought the calculator, but then I never actually used the calculator. So it's all interesting. Scott Pollan says Houston, stop expecting RC to force Moa. It's not going to happen. He's a bit better at running a super large company than we are. If he was a bit better at running a super large company than we are, we would see the difference in our share prices. We have not seen a difference in our share prices. Therefore, I conclude that the only way he can get his share price to grow is to trigger a MOASH type event. Fuck him over. Do something dirty. Do something mean and dirty. Because that's the only thing they respond to. Just like the Texas Republicans gerrymandering and Gavin Newsom being like, fuck you, I'm going to gerrymander too. They go, ah! Because that's all they understand. Sometimes you have to fight fire with fire. Otherwise, they don't get it. They don't understand. So you have to make them hurt. Make them hurt so bad that they think twice about ever doing it again. Because if you're just like, well, I'm just going to run my big company, blah, 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 and you never do anything with the $10 billion you have on hand, you never do anything cool with it, then what's the point? Warren Buffett did cool shit all the time. Does cool shit all the time. He is constantly doing cool shit. So, do cool shit. It's not that hard. Warren Carl Icahn does cool shit all the time. Let him do cool shit. Just let him do cool shit. Do cool. Expect him to do cool shit. That's basically what it comes down to, man. Just do cool shit. And you get rewarded for it. You find those little loopholes. You find the ways to just put your thumb down on them and squeeze them real hard. Just do cool shit. All right, I never use the calculator during calculator time, and I just throw off the stupid intro. Turn off the intro, ding dong. All right, calculator, go away. Okay. Where am I? All right, Andrew Dow says, working at the moment here in the UK, it's the end of the racing season. In September starts the jumps. Don't know if it will still be this good or if I just started on Lucky Run. Maybe a Lucky Run. Maybe one of those things where it needs like a couple months of data in order to know what's going on with the horses and the tracks and whatever to consolidate it. Also, might not work well at the beginning of the part of the season, but it's a middle to the end of the season type thing. Frozen Productions. I gave both kids an article on procrastination today. They both procrastinated on getting the reading done. Perfect. Okay. Lisa Saw. Putin has a dedicated security team tasked to collect all his bodily secretions, i.e. piss and poo, whilst abroad, and take it back to Russia to stop enemies finding out about his medical problems. That's a shit job. Lisa Saw. Trump Burger. The other co-founder, not the sham marriage guy, is a convicted criminal from Jordan, illegally living in the U.S. for 16 years. Guess who's getting deported? Yeah. Just... It's amazing how many folks, they're like, it's not going to happen to me. And they don't have any realization that they are the other. Right? They're targeting the others, and you are the other. Verben Nationaldeutscher Juden. The Jewish nationalists, the Jews for Hitler. 1920s and 30s, they're like, yeah, Hitler, yeah. And they're listening to Hitler spout all his anti-Semitic stuff. And they're like, as long as we're for Hitler, he's not going to get us. He might get those other Jews, but not us. Hitler gets to power, what's he do? He either deports or kills all of them. You're the other. It's not that hard to be the other. You know? You got a slightly different political bent, you're the other. If you work in a union, you're the other. Right? Different color skin, a woman, LGBT, you're the other. Have a birth defect, you can be the other. It really doesn't take much to become the other in a situation where you have an authoritarian fascist taking over. So yeah, you can go rah, 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 and they'll put you up against the wall just like they did all the brown shirts in the Night of the Long Knives. Those guys were doing their Sieg Heils and proclaiming their affinity for Hitler as they're being shot in the head up against a wall. Like, it doesn't matter. If you inconvenience the guy in charge, he'll sweep you out of the way. He's not going to protect you. He's not going to do anything for you. That's it. So, you could create a place called Trump Burger. But if you are an undocumented immigrant, you are not protected, and they're going to send your ass away because you're another. I just saw Julius did 5 memberships. Here we go. The lurker fishing. So Julius got... Carl is... Ledicanter? Carlise? Ledicanter? I don't know. D3689. Cirque Indonesia. Maui Zaddy. Steel Horse Nomad. I think he's got at least 2 in that one. A good 40% on that. Thank you, Julius. And Franklin5491 Super Chats. Houston. Haven't been on YouTube for a while. What's up with No Labs and is Greg Kidd good for business? Thank you. No Labs is now USBC, US Bitcoin. Supposedly, Greg is now CEO. Ron is like a chief operations officer or something like that, who's focused on the glucose monitor. While Greg does all sorts of cryptocurrency things to keep the stock price up and high. I have no idea what kind of focus that does for everything, or if the company is actually still working on the glucose monitor. I assume they are. I haven't heard from Ron at all since the whole merger thing went through and the name change. So I'll try to get him on here and we can talk about it. But Greg Kidd is a pretty successful business dude who has gotten pretty deep into crypto. And I think he sees himself as utilizing the ticker for doing sort of a micro strategy type thing. I don't know what that means for the research and development side, developing the glucose monitor, which is, if they get approval, is like a $1 business. So I hope they don't lose sight of that they can keep running the lab, doing that thing while all the other noise is going on. During the height of NFTs, they were raising funds. They're like, well, we can mint some NFTs for like pennies and sell these things. Then they raised like millions of dollars selling NFTs in the marketplace while that hype was going on. So the company does have a history of being able to like, raise some funds on that crypto side when needed. But it wasn't a crypto company. Now it seems like it's a crypto company that has a small arm that is doing the research and development for something completely unrelated. I hope to get him on someday to, talk to us all about it. Oh crap, I missed a whole bunch of super chats. How are the super chats not showing up anymore? What is up with this? L, hi, not sure YouTube took names off of its SS Leah like a ship. Oh, Leah, yeah. SS Leah, there we go. Got email from ICANN about cash stock option. Can you clarify what that means? Oh, that's just your dividend. Because it's a weird unit. I forget what they're called. It's not a share of stock. It is... Something pops up in the chat. Can you remind me what it's called? It's something different. And so you have the option of taking cash or shares in the stock. And that's basically, everyone gets that email right before they do their little dividend at the end. DeSantis hacked my YouTube, says Miami. Monkey treat, Pulte small man syndrome. Pulte definitely small man syndrome. And we could do monkey treat. We haven't done monkey treat in a couple of days. All right? How many you want, monkey? Have you even had your breakfast yet? We had to go to the vet today because it was her post-chemo checkup. So she had to go get blood work done. And she's on some chemo drug still, like the oral one. And they told me to not give it to her anymore because her blood platelets are low. So they want to see if it's the drug or not, or if it's the immune system. But she still seems happy and super strong. Yeah, there you go. Eat that. So we're gonna stop giving her the little pill every day, which is good because the pill terrifies me. It's like, do not touch the ground, do not get it, if you get it in water, burn the house down. I have to like put on a glove and give her this pill in her food. And I'm happy to not give it to her. No problem. I was supposed to give it to her for another like couple of weeks anyway, so yeah. Happy dog? Got that chewing going down? Yeah? Get all those pieces. Get that piece right there. Well, I think there's one more right there. See that one? Yeah, get that in your mouth. Oh, that one right there. All right, right there. Right there. Yeah, you got that? All right, cool. Yes. Yeah, Pulte. I mean, Pulte better hope that Donald Trump declares himself God King and that there's never another official in power ever again. Because how he's been using the FHFA, come on, you got it. It has been criminal. It is illegal to look up everyone's mortgage information. It's illegal to make a target list and then try to find people who possibly violated laws inside that target list. Those are abuses of power. Those are felonies. So if another president comes into power who definitely is not a Republican, Bill Pulte is looking at dozens and dozens and dozens of felonies at this point. And the fact that he's a rich guy's grandson is not going to save him from those felonies. He's not going to have lawyers good enough. He's got Mar-a-Lago lawyers, man. They're not going to be very good at combating any potential charges that come from this. This would be like going through targeting people's healthcare records, looking for dirt on them. There are privacy laws that exist for a reason. You're not allowed to do that. So, yeah. So Bill, don't do that crap. All right. Where am I? I was way up here. I did Polestar. I did Chris. I did Andrew Dell. I did Ford ZZ9. I did Lisa Saw's. Corporate Walnut. After Newton left, my girl said it's tragic. I'm stuck with only Houston. I said, nah, babe. Houston is ride or die. We up, dog. Corporate Walnut's girlfriend. It's all right. You'll be fine. Moo Pullen. What does your intuition tell you about when we should hear news about waterfall payments being issued, disclosed? Month? 6 months? I hope it's not 6 months. I want to be able to get as much cash as I can now so that I can transfer it into a currency that's not devaluing like crazy. I would like to be able to put it all into euros or Swiss francs or something and just not have inflation eat it all away. Because if Trump gets rates cut, right, and we enter some sort of awful stagflation, runaway inflation environment where the economy's collapsing, the dollar's becoming worthless, all we can do is print money into the system to keep it going. You know, we're talking loaves of bread at $100,000 type territory, like Weimar Republic inflation, Zimbabwe level inflation, and yeah. Bitcoin will be $10 million. But at the same time, it'll be 125,000 euros. So, like, just because you have a lot of zeros behind whatever thing you have doesn't mean it's actually worth anything. So, but the quickest way for Americans to become millionaires will be if we have just runaway inflation as a result of really, really, really poor economic choices. Trump can try to hide as much of American history as he can at the Smithsonian and other in public schools. But in the future, they're going to have an entire section on how Trump fucked up the economy with a giant unforced error. And they're going to point to how he did it and why it was stupid and how everyone told him it was stupid, yet somehow no one stopped him. And here we are, 100 years later, all just still to this day. Smoot Hawley, man. ECB. Oh, sorry, must retract it. We're pulling. Let's pretend we get $10 cash, 1 warrant per share, and 1 GME share per previous BBBY share held. What's your GME price prediction for the first week of this news? A good push. They may try to suppress it, but it's gonna be hard because a lot of people have cash. Like I'll have $150,000 to play with. Others will have significantly more with that at that level. And they're going to be buying stock options. They're going to be buying shares themselves. Hopefully, everyone's buying in the money at that point to make a real healthy squeeze happen, so that you can get a gamma right off the bat. The PILs have to get paid out, and I think they have. I can't remember how. It might have 90 days to make good on those PILs. They can be a synthetic sitting there waiting. It's harder with cash. They will instantly have to do the cash, but if there's warrants or shares involved, they may have 90 days to have to go get those. There was a FINRA rule in there about PILs. I can't remember what it was. FINRA rule about payments in lieu. What is 330? That's margin. Liability Express. I remember finding it when I was talking about ape shares back in the day, and they had 90 days to get the ape shares provided. That's why Adam Aaron shouldn't have made any moves in those 90 days, and then he did and fucked it all up. I'll find it, but yeah, it's the payment in lieu rule. So the cash may cause gamma instantly. If the price goes up on that, it'll make it even harder for those who need to provide the shares and the warrants to go on the market and get them, because they're going to be even more expensive. So they're going to be competing with the retail investors for those things. And if they get to the 90-day limit, they may get margin called. They may get a margin call before that due to the cash alone. If it's $10 a share, they might be liable for $10 a share. They might be liable for about $50 billion in cash. And right now, no one has $50 billion in cash. The bank reverse repo is bottoming out right now. There's not even enough money in there to deal with it. So if these prime brokers and stuff, if they're left with holding the bag, I don't know where they're going to get the cash from to do it. So you may see a whole bunch of sell-off of bonds and blue chips in order to come up with that cash, which will make GameStop go super negative beta against everything else in that respect, which would give us the opportunity to buy everything back in for cheap, right? So, yeah. Right, monkey? Yeah. Ayn Rand's Razzie Award got some stickers. Ron Rose, how and who is propping up this train wreck of an economy? What will cause the bubble to burst? Best guess. I honestly can't quite figure it out, because no one can sell a house. Commercial real estate's worthless. Tourism's collapsing. Agriculture's collapsing. Manufacturing is collapsing. Right? No one wants to buy our bonds. So bond yields are going up. Exports are way down. Imports are way down. Inflation way up. Maybe it's just straight up inflation keeping the market up. Because the dollar's worth less, it takes more dollars to have something maintain the same value. It might just be pure inflation at this point, keeping the value of that up. Like, here. Let's go here. Let's open up Chrome for a second. Chrome, which I'm on a Google search, aren't I? That's been a rule. Okay. Gold price per ounce in euros. So gold price per troy ounce is 2,873 euros, $3,347. Now, 7 months ago, euros and dollars, these were at parity. They were at 1-to-1 basically. So now there is a $600+ difference between them. It's no longer 1-to-1. It's not that gold prices are going through the roof. This is basically the price gold was back in January in dollars. It was around $2,700, $2,800. So gold prices aren't going through the roof. They're staying the same. is that the US dollar is becoming fucking worthless. Now, a couple years ago, when everyone was talking about, the end of the petrodollar and that BRICS countries were going to create their own currency and get rid of the US dollar, and I was like, US dollar's king. It's used everywhere. We've got USAID. We have loan programs. We send money all over the place. US dollar isn't going anywhere. Well, guess what? They cut all those programs that sent the US dollar all over, and now they're purposely devaluing it. So yeah, they're doing Putin a favor by collapsing the US dollar hegemony, which makes us not be able to print money out of thin air and export dollars to get shit. Because now, when we do it, no one wants them, so their value goes down. And this is your example of it. Like, let's do gold price in euros. January 20th, 2025. 26.96. So it's gone up $100 in euros. Basically, right? Gone from 26 to 20, basically 27 to 28. And I did not spell January correctly at all on that one. In dollars, it was 27.44. So basically, gold has not gone up that much at all. 27.07. So basically, it was basically parity. And gold has gone up like this much for euros and this much for dollars because the US dollar is worthless. That's what's come down to. We've devalued the US dollar. So everything, we're thinking we're getting money and we're not getting shit. We're getting more garbage than we've ever had to have before. So yeah, I want this thing to go through quickly. I want to get fucking paid and I want to get out. Because if I hold on to these dollars, they're not worth anything. So I'm going to have to put them into yen or Swiss francs or euros or whatever just to get the hell out. Kroner, I don't care. Something different. Where was I? That was Digga Doink says hit the like button. And Rand says hit the like button. And Juice Miami says Kanye rugged his own Solana meme coin, which briefly hit 3 billion market cap and now crashed 90% to 300 million. Easy. Well, I mean, he seems like the type of guy to do that type of thing. He was bankrupt a couple years ago, and Kim bailed him out. So she bailed him out, showed him how to run a business, and then he went weird and she had to divorce him. So he probably needs to get money because he doesn't have anything left at this point. Peace Tack. Hey, Houston. What's your opinion on all these crazy peptides lately? I have a friend who started taking BCP-157, and I'm worried by lack of human trials. I don't know from humic gastric juice that shows potential for promoting tissue healing in animal studies, particularly for tendons, ligaments, and gut conditions. However, it's not approved for human use by any regulatory agencies, and claims about its benefits for athletic performance or human health are unproven. U.S. Anti-Doping Agency lists BPC-157 as a prohibited substance under the SO non-exempt category and is illegal to possess without prescription in countries like Australia. Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything. It's the first I've ever heard of these things. So no, I don't know anything about them. I am wary of things like that. Like, why aren't you doing human trials? It seems to me like if it's something that's so good, you would have no problem doing human trials with it. So just do them. Why not? I don't take something from other people's gastric juices. Seems kind of gross, doesn't it, Monkey? Yeah, seems kind of gross. And that's a dog who eats her own barf, so I guess we can too. Andrew Dell, what positive indicators, if any, does the economy have? None. Zero. Polestar, I thought it's a different QSIP for our shares. Our shares maintain the old BBBYQ QSIP as far as we can tell in the documentation. Beyond is keeping their QSIP, but just changing the ticker. That's what's happening. God Emperor 41K, I'm tired of waiting, boss. You and me and everyone else, man. Hazel Fallen Houston, thank you for keeping us up on BBBY. Well, there you go. I cannot. Suhevigisov Issues. Do you feel like GME can bone to 65 this week? Probably not. I mean, there are swaps that are coming due at the end of next week. I don't know if they're going to be plentiful enough to do that. Implied volatility is still freakishly low. We're probably still at like below 40%. GME options chain. Yeah, implied volatility for this week at 31. For next week, 36. Yeah, these suckers are really, really low. Really low. Yeah. What price are we at? 256. 2256. So there has to be some crazy volumes coming in starting next week to make that happen. I don't know if there. I just have no. I don't feel it in my bones that's going to happen next week. I do think it can pop above $23, no problem. $23.50, yeah, I think it can get there. Hope it does, because then I'll double my money and I'll be like, cool. But yeah, I don't. My gut's not telling me that it's going to be a crazy options week. It might be. I could be totally wrong, but I just want them to just make a goddamn announcement already. Just send us some stupid shares and make your whole Teddy bullshit happen. It's taking way too long. It says, Leia, you're good. Crusader, you are coming through here. All right. That was because I was being told I was late. But I think I was on time. See what you got to do with Nub. I'm getting cash and equity via snail mail. Never had an account linked with AST. Oh, that's true. That's going to be brutal. Mustang ES89 Houston. Any update on MMTLP, or are we twiddling our thumbs for eternity? Yeah. I think there's legal things going on in the background. I know there's lots of stuff being filed in the metamaterial bankruptcy, which is basically tangential to the problems with MMTLP, NextBridge. NextBridge really needs to put their foot down and start suing the hell out of the University Lands Board if they want to get anywhere with their ticker or with their stock, with anything, and get all of that land back. Their leases. I don't know, Monkey. What do you think? Yeah, is that tasty foot? Cool. Cool drool, little dog. Oh, got your brain. Such a good brain to scratch. Oh, okay. Monkey looks way clearer than she ever has with this crappy camera I have. Normally she's like all washed out, but she's not washed out today. What's different? What is different, Monkey? What did we do different to make you on the Monkey Cam not completely washed out? What changed? I don't know. I don't know, Monkey. I don't know what changed. We want more head scratches. I can do that for you. I have the ability. Okay. Yeah, MMTLP, they've got to do some legal stuff to figure out why their leases got taken from them, who was behind it, and just sue the shit out of everybody. That's probably the way that they're going to get ahead. Because with the leases and the land they control now, they are not a billion-dollar company. And with the fact that oil prices are coming down, even though the price of the pump isn't coming down, oil per barrel is coming down globally, and wells are getting shut off all over the place and capped. It's not a great environment. You wanted to sell this crap in 2021, 2022 and be done with it. And give people their cash or do whatever. Now, as we're approaching like nuking of the entire global economy, not a time you want to be in oil. So they may have missed the boat on that one. All right. And Rand's throwing some more stickers in there. Hazel Allen. Hi, I heard why Trump wants Papa Powell to cut rates. Supposedly Trump bought 100 million bonds and he needs the rates cut so he can scoop up the money. I saw that he has $100 million in bonds. Yeah, because he wants his bonds to be worth more than the upcoming bonds coming through, right? Because you do a rate cut, it's like people want the ones with the higher rates. So, yeah. Che 1987, what's up with the plunge protection team in 2025? I don't think there is one. I don't think they've got a plunge protection team anymore. It's close concern for the President's Working Group of Financial Markets established in 1988 to enhance financial market stability and investor confidence, particularly during times of turbulence. The group, which consists of senior officials from the Treasury Department, Federal Reserve, SEC, and CFTC, meets, identify, address issues, and coordinate actions to promote market integrity and efficiency through its specific things. Yeah, I just don't think that they really have one right now. So they have a list of folks. I mean, the people clearly exist. So right now it would be that's the old one. That was Mnuchin. That was the previous administration. A year ago. Like everything about the plunge protection team is all from a year ago or more. There's nothing recent. There's a little bit talking about April, about the Death Cross, but not really talking about the plunge protection team doing shit. Yeah. I'm not seeing anything about it, so I don't know what they're doing. Nothing, I guess, is what they're doing. So, it happens. Okay. They were deported. Billy MacDaddy. If the holding company took all the BBY shares back, wouldn't they know about the huge imbalance? They would. And the holding company doesn't have to tell anyone about it if they don't want to. So they can take all those shares and they can just nuke them, right? They can't take the ones that were in AST because those ones belong to other people. But if they were part of the HBC, Hudson Bay Capital purchase, using them as proxy, and they bought like hundreds of millions of shares, and they took all those suckers in, right? And they had a whole bunch of money, and they bought a whole bunch of the bonds and DIP and Philo, so they've got control of the company, and they just nuke all those shares. So basically, what meager amount of float is out there is still out there. They can really do some damage. Really do some damage with all that. So, yeah. D3689. Do we think Ross is right? He's one of the sane people. He's the same person. He's incredibly intelligent. I've only I had lunch with him, back in March, I think. He came to the island for business, and we had lunch, and he is a brilliant person. I mean, he knows the ins and outs of this stuff better than I ever will, because he actually works in it every day. I would take his gut feelings over that of most folks, because he sort of has like a basis in reality in it. It's all. I mean, he'll even admit to you that at this point it is pure speculation, hopium. I did put speculation station in the title, but we are still in speculation station land until shit happens. We knew something weird was going to happen to the BBY ticker. We've been talking about it for weeks. We're like, something weird's going on, and something weird did happen. BBBY is returning, just not with our shares. So that's hopefully just one step in a cadre of steps to make us whole and make things awesome. Right, dude? Monkey's like, man, I listen to you talk at this wall every day, and it's the same shit over and over again. Are you sick of it yet, Monkey? Are you sick of it yet? Huh? Oh, you're just like, let's go for a walk. What are we doing here? All right, I gotta do one more and then I can run away. Yogi 2012, Hot the Trot. Oh, that's a good one. Bobcat Goldweight Racehorse movie was excellent. Buy India Oats is a nice stock market tie-in. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I got to get going. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And we will do it all again. Right? Right, monkey? Yeah? High five? High five. Okay. All right. She agrees. All right. One more time with the Who's and What's It. Bam.